Only on RTV6.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Overnight, a suspect taken into custody after leading police on a chase all over the Circle City. What he crashed into that eventually led to his arrest.
Plus, summer is a deadly time for drivers, especially teens who get behind the wheel. Why smartphones are making getting in a car more dangerous every day.
And redline construction still clogging up Northside roads. The issues residents who live alongside streets say those road closures are now causing. Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Meteorologist Todd Clausen in now. And Todd, you were so right. Yesterday was beautiful.
Yeah.
What about today?
You know, today's not bad. There's some subtle differences, a little more in the way of cloud cover as the day goes on, but temperatures are back into the 70s. And while there are some rain chances in our forecast later today, the bulk of our Wednesday is going to be nice and dry. 60 degrees right now in Muncie, 55 in Lafayette, 58 is the current temperature in Indianapolis, and we'll come in and around the metro area. And that 55 number is a pretty common one from Plainfield to Castleton to Greenfield, and then 53 degrees as you make your way down into the Greenwood area. So we are not going to have that bright blue sky without a cloud in the sky throughout the morning hours. In fact, the clouds already starting to increase in spots, but the rain is still well off to our west. And eventually some of that rain gets here, but it has to overcome quite a bit of dry air that's in place. And so with the exception of a hit or miss shower, the bulk of the rainfall will be after sunset. With that said, the clouds do increase a little bit this afternoon. We warm quickly, though, with some sunshine this morning to 71 by the noon hour, and then mid to upper 70s later on this afternoon for your highs. The time now is 5:02. Let's get you another look at the roadways this morning. Here's Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. Over on the west side, the left three lanes are closed on northbound 465 near West 56th Street for some overnight road work. Let's take a look at that right now. Yesterday, we saw that it got pretty backed up when it got into rush hour. So right now, traffic is moving through just fine. I'll keep an eye on this area for you as we do head on in the morning. But if you're heading out the door now, you should be good to go.
Elena, thank you. Breaking news from overnight. A suspect is in custody after leading police on a chase across the city before crashing into an apartment complex playground.
The chase started when police tried to pull over a driver for a routine traffic stop at 86th and Michigan on the north side. The driver took off and weaved across town to the west side. At one point, officers tried to do a pit maneuver to stop the driver, but instead he crashed into an IMPD cruiser. The officer is expected to be okay despite the crash. Eventually, the driver turned into an apartment complex near 38th and Lafayette. After crashing into the playground and getting out of the car, he was apprehended by a canine officer. Right now, officials are working to try to track down 3 people charged with animal abuse so they can be arrested.
The suspects charged after video went viral showing animals at Fair Oaks Farms in Northwest Indiana being abused. Santiago Contreras, Edgar Vasquez, and Miguel Serrano are all being charged with misdemeanors for beating an animal. Again, police are still working to locate the suspects and take them into custody. RTV6 was first to report that video shot last year showing workers abusing calves at Fair Oaks, which is one of the state's biggest agritourism operations.
This morning, the search has ended for this man who ran off during his trial. Jefferson Griffin was found guilty on child molestation charges by a Rush County jury back in March. But while out on bond, he failed to show up at the courthouse. Just this week, he was sentenced to serve 46 years in prison. Then on Tuesday morning, he was located in West Virginia. He'll now be transported back to Indiana to serve time behind bars.
Many students are now out of school for summer break and will spend even more time in cars and on the road.
It should be cause for concern for parents as we are now in the 100 deadliest days on the road. Our Aaron Lish joins us live with when those 100 days began and why summer is so risky for young drivers. Aaron.
Good morning. So it began on Memorial Day, and on average, 260 teens are killed in crashes each month over the summer. In national data, that's a 26% increase compared to the other months. So we have what you need to know from drivers and instructors. If you're driving and looking at your phone,
you're thinking about your conversation and you stop checking and scanning.
For teen crashes, data shows they are caused by texting or talking. Driver's ed instructor Mike Ward catches students getting distracted.
We go by a speed limit sign, I'll say, what did that traffic sign say? And a lot of times it's what traffic sign.
National data collected also finds speeding is a factor in about 1/3 of all deadly crashes involving a teen driver.
When you come to an intersection, slow down. If you're going too slow, you can always speed up. But if you're going too fast, something bad's going to happen.
For the first 180 days, Indiana teen drivers, with some exceptions, can't have passengers under 25. AAA says when teen drivers have only teens in the car, the fatality rate for all people goes up by 51%. In contrast, when passengers 35 or older ride with a teen, the rate drops by 8%. Ward says teach good habits to your teen drivers.
People need to set a good example when they're driving because, they're going to be watching you drive. And lots of times they're going to be a driver just like you are.
Ward says when your students take these driver's ed courses, most insurance companies will lower those rates until they are 25 years old. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to have a little bit from a mom who's bringing awareness about these new drivers. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Today, Redline Construction will close a portion of College Avenue on the north side. And as long as the weather holds up, crews will close College at Broad Ripple Avenue to install bus pads at that station. This is just the latest in a series of closures that have happened in the past few weeks. Neighbors who live on residential streets nearby say they've noticed.
We were hoping that there'd be some more of a presence on the side streets to make sure that people don't just cut through the neighborhood at high speeds and run stop signs.
This was a quiet neighborhood. You'd never know it now. This is just a little residential street, but we've just had 6 cars go through in the last 30 seconds.
More Redline work continues tomorrow. Crews will be repaving along College Avenue from 38th to 66th Streets as long as it's not raining.
Access to CBD products is getting even easier. Kroger will now sell the products at their grocery stores. The company plans to sell CBD lotions, balms, oils, and other items in 17 different states. That includes 81 locations here in Indiana. Kroger is joining a few other major retailers like CVS and Walgreens that will sell the products. Simon Malls is also letting retailers set up stands at their malls, including Castleton, to sell CBD products.
Today, hundreds of first responders and airport workers will prepare for an emergency. The Indianapolis International Airport will host an airport preparedness exercise, something required by the FAA to happen every 3 years. Volunteers will simulate a plane crash emergency staged near a plane and all wearing makeup to imitate injuries. First responders and airport personnel will then run through what they would do in case of an emergency. The exercise is happening around 10 this morning. You will be able to see it from Terminal B, but it will not impact normal airport operations.
Strawberry lovers, listen up. Final preparations are underway for this year's Christ Church Cathedral Strawberry Festival. This happens every year on the Circle. It's the 54th year the church will be selling homemade strawberry shortcake and ice cream. And they say they are ready for the crowds, bringing in 6 tons of strawberries.
Pro tip, starting at 9, you can go into the basement and you can do carry out, which usually is a little bit quicker. You can get them a little earlier.
You heard it there. Carry out starts at 9 tomorrow morning. Then at 9:30, they start selling on the Circle. It is cash only, and they will keep selling until they are sold out. Todd, I have not been down there for that yet. Have you?
Yeah, every year I just walk down the street from the station. That way I can eat as much as I want, and then I can walk back and hopefully don't gain any weight. But yeah, it's certainly a great event to go to every year. All right, this morning as you walk out the door, no real issues. Skies are mainly clear. We have some high thin clouds out there, but they'll burn off pretty quickly. And it's a great start to our day today with temperatures that'll be climbing from the 50s into the 60s already by 9 a.m. So with the sunshine this morning, we will see our temperatures warm very, very quickly. So the high thin clouds are already starting to increase. The rain is back off to our west. The rain really doesn't get in here until late tonight, and it's more of an issue for overnight and then throughout the day tomorrow. So carry on with any plans you do have here throughout the day today. Even with the clouds increasing, temperatures will be getting into the mid 70s to right around 80 degrees in Muncie as well as the Columbus area. But again, our rain chances are present tomorrow. Friday's a great day, and then better rain chances for the weekend. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Still ahead, from late night to Capitol Hill, an angry call to action from comedian Jon Stewart. Why he had such harsh words for lawmakers as he spoke up for 9/11 first responders.
Plus, the goals that just kept coming. The U.S. women's soccer team opening up their FIFA World Cup play with a dominating 13-0 win. The history that was made after the break. Elena.
And here's a look at I-70 at the north split. You can see traffic's moving along just fine both directions. Time now 5:10. We're watching RTV6. Stay with us.
Weekdays at 9 on RTV6.
Emotional testimony on Capitol Hill from Jon Stewart, the comedian best known for making late-night jokes.
But on Tuesday, he was angry, scolding Congress for failing to fully fund a program that supports sick and dying 9/11 first responders. Stewart has been a longtime advocate for responders. The September 11th Victim Fund will run out of money in December of 2020. This week, lawmakers had the chance to keep the fund running for the next 70 years, but only 12 of 41 committee members showed up.
Your indifference cost these men and women their most valuable commodity, time. It's the one thing they're running out of.
That will help in that goal.
After the hearing, other lawmakers on the committee said they support the bill and were monitoring the hearing from afar.
Police in Oregon are now searching for a sick teenager in need of surgery. Officials say 13-year-old Kylie Dixon was supposed to have surgery on June 6th, but did not show up. Despite being a ward of the state, she is currently living with her mother. Officials did not say why Kylie was having surgery, but her mother posted online about her daughter's liver cancer and natural CBD treatments. A judge has now issued an order allowing the Department of Human Services to take custody of Kylie once she is found.
Nevada has become the first state to ban employers from testing new workers for marijuana. The governor just signed a new law banning companies from refusing to hire someone who tests positive for marijuana. But there are certain exceptions. The law does not apply to firefighters, EMTs, federal workers, or anyone who would have to drive a car or truck for work. It will also give employees a second chance to take a drug test within the first 30 days of a new job. The new law will go into effect in January.
With Father's Day just around the corner, a group of dads are leading the charge to make changing diapers even easier. John Legend, Pampers, and the dad behind the Squat for Change movement are teaming up to get more changing tables installed in men's restrooms. The company is pledging to install 5,000 tables across the U.S. and Canada in the next 2 years. Pampers said they will focus on high-need locations first, like parks and libraries. Some of the first cities that will get the new changing tables include Cincinnati, Dallas, and Detroit.
Do you remember these crowds last year? People lining up for hours to take part in the Build-A-Bear's Pay Your Age special. Well, the deal is back, but changes are in the works to help with crowd control. This year, you will need a ticket. You can get one of the 200,000 being offered on Build-A-Bear's website. You do have to sign up by June 16th to get one, though. If you don't sign up in time, Build-A-Bear says they will offer the Pay Your Age deal all year on birthday bears, meaning you can get the special pricing once a year during your child's birthday month. It is 5:16 right now, and Todd, I'm sorry, it'd probably cost all of us more than the bear actually cost if we did the Pay Your Age
I didn't
thing.
want one anyway, so don't worry about it. So we're all good. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with quiet conditions. It's an easy commute for you weather-wise into work here once again this morning. A little on the cool side, so you may want to have a light jacket. 58 degrees is the current temperature. The wind is calm. Sunrise officially this morning is at 6:17. Should be a pretty nice sunrise for us all across the area. Temperatures range from 60 right now in Muncie to 51 in Greencastle. That's the warm and cool spots. Everybody else is in between. 52 in Bloomington. 53 is the current temperature in Crawfordsville, and up to the north, 57 from Tipton up towards the Peru area. So with the sunshine here initially this morning, we'll see our temperatures warm fairly quickly across the area, getting up to 71 degrees by 11 a.m. and then 72 by the noon hour. So we're in pretty good shape for your lunch hour. Of course, they have the farmers market on Wednesday outside the city market. Market. It'd be great for that if you're heading to there on your lunch break. And then you will notice throughout the afternoon hours, the clouds will start to increase across the area, but we remain dry. So while the clouds thicken, we're dry at least through the 5 o'clock hour with temperatures that'll be climbing up into the mid-70s. So here's our satellite radar picture right now. And then some of these clouds will burn off with the sunshine once it comes up, and the rain is still off to our west. It's just kind of a broken line of showers that are going to rotate through the area. And initially, a lot of that is going to evaporate because it's going to be running into a lot of dry air. So even if you have plans this evening, I can't rule out the chance of a hit or miss shower as we head into the 8 and 9 o'clock hour, but it's really once we get closer to 10 and 11 o'clock and beyond that we start to bring in these rain chances throughout central Indiana. So let me walk you through it hour by hour for you on TrueCast here, and you can see as we head into the noon hour, we're still dealing with partly cloudy skies across the area. And by 8 o'clock, again, there could be a stray shower here or there, but for the most part, we are dry. It's overnight that we start to bring in the better rain chances. And even when those rain chances arrive, everything's very, very light. The problem is now, unlike yesterday when it looked like this front would move through pretty quickly, it does look like it lingers a little bit into the afternoon hours on Thursday. So we'll have to maintain some shower chances, unfortunately, throughout the day tomorrow. And it's a much cooler day for us as well as that front goes through. We're looking at high temperatures tomorrow that are only going to be in the 60s. So as we go throughout the afternoon hours, I should say about 65 degrees for your high temperature for the day tomorrow. But the good news is by the time we get to Friday, we're back into the sunshine at 75 degrees. We're warm over the weekend near 80, but unfortunately we're looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms. Storms probably a little more numerous on Sunday than they will be on Saturday. Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look at your morning drive right now. This is downtown, right in the heart. I-70 at the north split. Traffic is moving along just fine both directions. Let's take a look at the map. If you're over on this west side, you're going to want to pay attention to the left 3 lanes closed on northbound 465 near West 56th Street. It's not causing too much problem right now, but as we head into the morning rush, we are going to want to keep an eye on this area. Let's take one last look at the roads. Here is I-65 at the south split this time, and traffic's moving along, so your morning drive looks pretty great.
Elena, thank you. Minicamp continues today for the Colts without Andrew Luck, though. The quarterback still sitting out as he deals with a calf injury.
He is expected to skip practice all week and not return to the field until training camp, which is next month. Luck says after dealing with the shoulder injury that kept him sidelined for a season, he's being careful with his rehab.
Things can be stubborn sometimes. I certainly don't feel as young as I once did, and I'm certainly also being conservative with things. It's one of the lessons I learned going through my shoulder.
While not on the field, Luck is still sitting in on team meetings as the Colts get ready for the new season. He also says he is making throws, but doing so while staying off that leg.
Tonight, a new hockey team will raise the Stanley Cup and celebrate a championship. The St. Louis Blues and Boston Bruins face off in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Blues are looking for their first cup in franchise history, while the Bruins are looking to add another win and join a league of Boston champions. The city of Boston has already celebrated Super Bowl and World Series wins in the past year, so hopefully they give St. Louis a turn here. The U.S. women's soccer team is not messing around as they look to defend their FIFA World Cup title. They opened this year's tournament with a dominating win over Thailand, 13-0.
Wow. Well, for some context, the U.S. men's national team has scored 13 goals combined over the last 379 days. The results set a record, the most goals ever scored in the FIFA World Cup. Alex Morgan also set a record-breaking night last night, picking up 5 goals for the team. While the team celebrated as they came off the field, they're already focused on the next game. They take on Chile Sunday at noon. Still ahead, Mayor Pete back in his home state to discuss his run for the White House in 2020 with Hoosiers. What he had to say about foreign policy and his experience as a veteran coming up in 15 minutes.
Plus, the scary crash that sent a car flipping along a Tennessee road. How a sneeze at the wrong time caused this crash. That's next.
10 a.m. Saturday, only at Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now 5:25. Here's a look at I-465 at Keystone Avenue on the north side. Traffic's moving along just fine for your morning drive.
Elena, thank you. A bizarre crash caught on camera in Tennessee. Police say the driver couldn't stop sneezing and left the road, causing his car to hit a ditch and flip.
But the story doesn't stop there. Bystanders jump into action and quickly push the car right side up. The driver was then able to easily get out of his car door with only minor injuries. Then while they waited for police to show up, the car caught on fire.
Oh no.
Luckily, as that happened, the fire department arrived and quickly got things under control. What a bad day.
Terrible day. Oh my gosh. And what you're just driving along, you get in a little sneezing fit, and then, oh, goodness gracious.
Wow, I thought that was a semi-truck coming in that video.
That would be the fire truck.
And then a tornado comes, and Nicole's like, this is the worst day ever. No. Well, we are happy that man is okay. All right, Todd, let's get a check at the weather. Yesterday was so beautiful.
It was great. I got out on my bike for a long time, and the Monon was a busy, busy place. A lot of people out there. So today, it'll still be fairly busy. It's not the perfect day that we had yesterday because there's more in the way of clouds, but it's still a very, very nice day for us, starting off in the mid-50s here this morning, about 74 degrees by the noon hour with skies that'll be partly cloudy. You'll just notice more clouds increasing throughout the afternoon hours, but look at those high temperatures. Not bad. We're still in the mid to upper 70s across the area.
Todd, thank you. Turkey vultures swarming a Greenwood neighborhood. Coming up on Good Morning Indiana, the bird problem and why no one seems to have answers on how to get them to leave.
Plus, the summer season means we are entering the 100 deadliest days on the road, especially for young drivers. What every parent should know before letting their kids behind the wheel. It's 5:27. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back. Only on RTV6 News.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
This Johnson County neighborhood has a serious bird problem that could happen to anyone.
Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, what wildlife officials say, what they say can be done to stop it. Plus, a house fire on the northeast side kills a man.
Straight ahead, the disturbing trend that has firefighters concerned this morning. Thanks for starting your morning with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. A beautiful shot at downtown here this morning. Our Todd Klassen is standing by to let us know if we have a repeat of yesterday's weather. Hey, Todd.
You know, it's not exactly a repeat, but it's still a good day for us here across the area. Yesterday was near perfect for the middle of June with the low humidity, the sunshine, and temperatures near 80 degrees. Today, a little more in the way of cloud cover, but you still need your sunglasses as you walk out the door this morning once the sun comes up. Maybe some of you need a light jacket as well with temperatures in the 50s. I didn't check the umbrella. There will be some rain chances late today, but it's really after sunset that they really start to ramp up. So I really don't want you to carry the umbrella throughout the entire day. Just know that if you do have plans after work, there will be the chance of a few showers. 52 in Bloomington right now, 58 in Indeed locations to the north here this morning are in the mid-50s, 55 in Logansport, 56 in Marion. So already the clouds are increasing. We'll burn some of that off with the sunshine once it comes up, but this rain that's off to our west, as that comes through later on today, we'll just build in the chance of a spot shower or two. But again, the daytime hours today should be pretty nice, partly cloudy to start, then increasing clouds with temperatures that'll be climbing into the mid to upper 70s. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look at I-465 at West 86th Street up on that northwest side. You can see right now everything is flowing just fine for your morning drive. Let's take a look at the map. Coming in from this east side, heading westbound on I-70 from Post Road into downtown at I-65. It should take you about 10 minutes, so no delays out there. As rings true pretty much no matter where you're headed right now. I'll keep an eye over on that west side. We have those lane restrictions, which might cause some backups as we head into rush hour. Let's take a look at this stretch, though, right now on our live in-dot traffic cameras. I-465 at I-70 over on the east side. You can see those roads are dry for your morning drive, and if you're heading out the door, it should be a breeze.
Elena, thank you. Breaking overnight, a suspect in custody after leading police on a chase across the city before crashing into an apartment complex playground. The chase started when police tried to pull over a driver for a routine traffic stop at 86th and Michigan on the north side. At one point, officers tried to stop the driver with a pit maneuver, but instead he crashed into an IMPD cruiser. The officer is expected to be okay despite the crash. Eventually, the driver turned into an apartment complex near 38th and Lafayette. After crashing into the playground and getting out of the car, he was caught by a canine officer.
We're also following breaking news right now. Lawmakers in Hong Kong are having to delay debate on a controversial extradition bill after tens of thousands of protesters blocked roads near government offices. This is a live look at those protests still happening at this hour. This is the second large-scale protest this week. Many worry the bill will erode their civil liberties and could lead to unjust punishments. Hong Kong is semi-autonomous of China, but the pro-Beijing legislature is expected to pass the measure by the end of next week. Taking a turn now, summer is about fun for kids as they take a break from school and the daily grind.
But as teens are out of the classroom and out on the roads, our Aaron Lish is live this morning taking a closer look at why Memorial Day begins the 100 deadliest days. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. So an average of 10 people are killed every day in crashes involving teens. And national data shows that is a 14% increase than the rest of the year. Now, remember when you first started driving and your first time behind the wheel? It was a little bit scary, maybe a little bit intimidating. So one family wants that to be a reminder as more teens are hitting the roads.
It was a little scary at first.
While practicing in the parking lot, teen driver Brennan Westfall recalls her first time driving on the roads.
I was kind of nervous.
And there was a reason, says Brennan's mom, Amanda Westfall.
I couldn't believe the number of drivers that, honked at her. There was at least 3 of them.
So Westfall bought these.
They say, please be patient, student driver.
Brennan echoes the message now on her family's Jeep.
You just have to be patient, and if you see, even if, the student driver magnet helps, if you see it, just know that, okay, they're new at this, they're learning, they're trying their best.
Data shows teens have the highest crash rate of any age group. An average 260 teens are killed in car crashes each month during summer.
Okay, slow, slow, slow. It's 5 miles per hour.
Westfall says be conscious of these drivers while practicing the rules of the road.
We're all teaching, be mindful of everything around you. It's not just you on the road.
AAA says continue engaging with your teen when they start driving, especially those times when it's rush hour, going through city traffic. You also have bad weather and nighttime driving, so make sure that you are staying involved. We're going to have a little bit more coming up in the next half hour from a driver's ed instructor. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Homeowners are reaching out to RTV6 about an unusual problem, one that could happen to anyone. Turkey vultures, as you see here, are swarming around a Greenwood neighborhood. It's not an issue handled by wildlife officials, but the Department of Natural Resources has advice for people dealing with the flocking nightmare. They say you should make loud noises like clapping or even firecrackers when the birds come home to roost, or you could even use a hose to scare them away. And say consistency is key. You've got to scare them off every night to drive them away.
When I see them, I chase them down and I smack these together. And the noise and the echo usually scares them.
If turkey vultures do not leave and start damaging property, they can be killed, but you do have to apply for both state and federal permits and demonstrate that you've exhausted all efforts to scare them away. A DNR spokeswoman says they prefer people not to kill turkey vultures, but instead scare them away. And you can also put wire mesh on your roof because they don't like roosting on that.
New this morning, one person is recovering following a plane crash in Greene County. Indiana State Police tell RTV6 that a small plane crashed just after 9 last night near Swith City. Authorities say the pilot was taken to a Terre Haute hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police tell us they're not sure if the plane was trying to take off or land when it crashed. State troopers are handling the investigation. Also this morning, a homicide investigation continues at the Miami Correctional Facility in Bunker Hill. Corrections officers say 70-year-old Lanny Morgan was found unresponsive in his cell early Monday morning. An ambulance was was called and Morgan died on the way to the hospital. Investigators say Morgan's death is suspicious and autopsy results are pending. Morgan had been incarcerated since 2011 on child molestation and incest charges.
Investigators say a man died while trying to put out a fire at a home he was visiting. Firefighters were called to the house on Kitley Avenue, northwest of 38th and Shadeland, around 8:30 last night. Investigators say 63-year-old Doug Martin died as he tried to put out a fire in the garage of the home. This morning, the cause of that fire still remains under investigation.
In a toxic environment, especially a garage like that, if there was enough of a buildup of smoke and he kept going back and forth to breathe in that smoke, it could have very well rendered him unconscious. And then at that point, he's not going to evacuate on his own.
3 people have died in fires this week. All of the victims were between the ages of 50 and 70.
On the Democracy 2020 front, the Democratic presidential hopeful from Indiana focusing on his home state this week. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg took part in a foreign relations discussion at the IU campus in Bloomington. The 37-year-old is a veteran of the war in Afghanistan. During the speech, Buttigieg criticized the president's use of Twitter to discuss foreign policy.
So, faced with this moment of enormous challenge and great possibility, it is not enough just to say that we won't conduct foreign policy by tweet. Nor would it be honest to promise that we can restore an old order that cannot, in any case, meet the realities of a new moment. Democrats can no more turn the clock back to the 1990s than Republicans can return us to the 1950s. And we should not try.
You can read more about Buttigieg's foreign policy vision by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story.
Road damage on the southwest side is now scheduled for repair after RTV6 got involved. Michael Denny reached out to us for help, saying a large pothole on East North County Line Road near Slide-Off Road in Canby has been an issue for 6 years. He says the road gets patched, but the asphalt always wears away, leaving it crumbling.
The main concern is that I think it's dangerous. I watched a truck slam through this pothole not knowing it was as deep and as wide as it was, and actually come into my side of the road a little bit before they got back control.
After our questions, the Department of Public Works sent its operation team out to the area, and they now say the damage is scheduled for repairs. We will continue to follow up until that happens.
An historic groundbreaking happening today in Noblesville. Construction will start on a mixed-use development project between 8th and 9th Streets off Maple Avenue. The apartments will be the first located downtown in more than a century. The $24 million project, called the Levinson, will also include a parking garage and space for retail businesses or offices. It is 20 till 6 right now on your Wednesday morning. Todd's taking a look at the weather.
Yeah, and your commute from anywhere you go here in central Indiana to wherever your destination is going to be a good one this morning. We're giving you the green lights here with just partly cloudy skies. Grab the sunglasses. You'll be in good shape. And then as we work our way into the evening drive, the clouds will be increasing, but still the green light because we remain dry. The rain showers, they remain off to our west, and it's just a broken line of showers that'll be heading our way. And as they run into a lot of dry air, they're going to basically start to fade apart pretty quickly. And then eventually this evening, that's when we'll start to build in the chance or the best chance of rain throughout the day. So carry on with any plans you have. We're still looking at partly cloudy skies at the 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock hour with temperatures in the 70s. Then once we get into the evening, again, a stray shower chance will be possible, but it's better rain chances as we work our way into the overnight hours. Then unfortunately, these showers look like they'll linger into your Thursday as well. We'll talk more about that and look ahead to your weekend coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. President Trump is expected to announce the deployment of more troops. Up next, where they're expected to go and what they'll be doing. Elena.
And here's a look on the northeast side. I-465 at I-69. Traffic's moving along just fine right now. This is one of those areas that gets pretty backed up. But if you're making your way to the roads right now, you should be good to go. Time now 5:41. You're watching RTV6. Stay with us.
Ask your doctor about Eliquis.
The former sailing coach at Stanford University is expected to be sentenced today in the college admissions scandal. John Vandemore pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit racketeering for arranging bribes to the sailing program. Stanford fired Vandemore the very same day he pled guilty. The former coach was among 50 people, including parents and coaches, arrested in connection with the scandal in March. He will be the first person sentenced in the scandal. A second person has been arrested in the investigation into the shooting of former Red Sox star David Ortiz, but there's no indication that he's the suspected shooter. Ortiz is recovering in a Boston hospital following a second surgery. He took his first steps after the procedure on Tuesday.
President Trump plans to increase the U.S. troop presence in Poland. Sources say the president plans to announce the move later today during a meeting with the Polish president at the White House. The president is expected to send 1,000 troops for logistical duties. Currently, 4,000 U.S. troops have a rotational presence in Poland. They've been there since Russia annexed Crimea in 2014. Crimea, I did that last time too. Not a country we have to talk about often here on Good Morning Indiana. Something we have talked about often, however, is the great weather we've had the past day or so, Todd.
You know, it's been a pretty decent stretch once we got to Monday afternoon and we cleared those clouds out. Monday afternoon was great. All day yesterday was great. And for the most part today, it's going to be a good day for us. Here's a live look outside, and we are looking to the south here past Bankers Life Fieldhouse and Lucas Oil Stadium and beyond. And skies are partly cloudy here this morning. Temperatures currently sit in the 50s and 60s. We're at 58 officially at the airport in Indianapolis. 52 right now is your current temperature in Bloomington. Muncie at 60 degrees, and 55 is the current temperature in Lafayette. So you'll hear the mention of rain in this forecast for the day today, but just know that that's pretty late in the day. Most of the daytime hours today will be completely dry, and you should be in good shape. Probably more in the way of sunshine the first half of the day compared to the second half as the clouds increase. But all in all, temperatures will be climbing into the mid to upper 70s, falling just a few degrees short of the low 80s where we normally should be this time of year. So here's the clouds already starting to increase. And so while the clouds are increasing, the sun is now just starting to get above the horizon. And as that sun gets higher and higher, it'll start to burn off some of this cloud cover that we do have out there. So we'll call it partly cloudy this morning and then eventually turning mostly cloudy. And as far as the rain goes, that's mainly off to our west. And you notice it's just some scattered showers approaching the St. Louis area. And that'll continue eastward, but it's going to kind of lose a little bit of its punch initially. And so that's why we're keeping it mainly dry for you, at least until the late evening hours. Here we are through the noon hour. We'll have partly cloudy skies. Your evening commute home is basically going to be dry. But as we get closer to 8 o'clock, we have to probably introduce the chance of a spot shower here or there. But it's going to be very, very widespread. So if you have evening plans today, I have a tea time. I'm going to be golfing at 4:30, so I'm not really worried about the rainfall this evening. It's more of an overnight event for us into the day on Thursday. So Thursday definitely has the potential to be a little wetter compared to today because we'll be dealing with the rain during the daytime hours when most of us are up and out and about. So throughout the day tomorrow, we'll deal with some scattered showers. We will be dealing with temperatures that'll be a little bit cooler with a high rate around 63 degrees. This is, again, Thursday's forecast. I'll change the title on that for you for the next hour. As we head into Friday, mostly sunny skies. It's a great day. We're heading to Jubilation Friday evening, one of the better weather nights we've had for that event in a while. And then as we head into the weekend, rain chances do increase, probably just spotty on Saturday. And then as we get into Sunday, that's when our rain chances are going to start to come up. So I know there's a lot of events this weekend as well, the Talbot Street Art Fair, and Italian Fest. So Friday's good, Saturday's not bad, Sunday's kind of the day we'll have to keep an eye on. And then next week it remains unsettled with more opportunities for showers and storms Monday and Tuesday. Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. When you're hitting the roads, not too much is happening right now. We do have those left 3 lanes closed, though, on northbound 465, right around West 56th Street, excuse me. So keep that in mind if it is part of your drive. Let's take a look at the roads right now. So this is in between the splits, I-65 at Washington Street. Traffic is beginning to pick up for your morning drive, but if you're a downtown driver, you shouldn't have any cause for concern of any delays or backups right now. And also great news, those roads are dry.
Elena, thank you. Uber wants to take its rideshare service to new heights, and it sounds like something straight out of the Jetsons. The company unveiled its first electric passenger aircraft prototype. Well, it looks like a helicopter plane hybrid at its Elevate conference. Uber says the aircraft will be able to take off and land from a pad just like a helicopter and fly up to 150 miles an hour. The company says riders will be able to take a 20-mile trip across the city in just a few minutes. Uber's entry into air transportation will begin July 9th with a helicopter service from Manhattan to JFK Airport. Did Mark Zuckerberg really say he was using stolen data to take over the world?
Yeah, that answer is kind of complicated. We'll explain this viral video coming up next in our Trending 6. Before you head out the door, it's time for the Trending 6. These are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online and you'll want to know about. A beloved comic book character fetching a pretty penny at the European Comic Art Signature Auction in Dallas. The first original cover art from The Adventures of Tintin, Volume 1, sold for more than $1 million. The comic followed the adventures of a young Belgian reporter named Tintin and his dog Snowy. It was first published in 1929. Scientists are building the next Mars rover, and you can watch the action live. Jet Propulsion Laboratory has a web camera feed showing their rover being assembled. It is scheduled to reach Mars on February 18th of 2021, when it will begin looking for signs of past life and collecting samples.
Imagine this for a second. One man with total control of billions of people's stolen data, all their secrets, their lives, their futures.
You may remember Facebook took some heat for refusing to pull a digitally altered video of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that made her appear to be drunk. Well, two artists created this fake video that appears to show Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg boasting about stolen data from Facebook users and uploaded it to Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. So far, Facebook has not taken down this video either. The Academy Awards broadcast has bounced around the calendar recently. Next year it's bouncing back. The 2020 Oscars here on RTV6 will be February 9th, the earliest Oscars show ever. But it's only a one-year move. The Academy and ABC say the 2021 and 2022 Oscars will return to the show's usual date, the last Sunday in February. Radiohead strikes back against hackers. The British band says cyber attackers stole hours of old unreleased material and demanded a ransom. To foil them, Radiohead is making the entire archive available for download, with the proceeds going to an environmental group. The band warns the material was never intended for public consumption. Still, better than paying ransom to those hackers. Tough luck, Indiana, because at least one survey says we are no fun. Personal finance website WalletHub just released its annual list of the most fun states. Number 1, California. It's largely due to its recreation opportunities and its nightlife. Florida and New York were next on the fun list. West Virginia, the least fun state. Indiana only ranks 39th in the survey. I don't know about this. We're pretty fun here.
All these, I mean, obviously California and Los Angeles and New York, they're huge cities.
Right. They haven't been to Broad Ripple, though, Todd, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's cheaper here. We got a lot of things going for us.
Meredith's quiet right now. What is she thinking? She's probably thinking we're not that fun.
Yeah. She doesn't get out. She needs to get out and about more like you and I, Nicole. So, all right, outside right now we are dealing with temperatures that are in the 50s. That's the first time I've ever heard Meredith quiet in my entire life. She talks nonstop. 59 in Indy, 52 in Bloomington, as well as Zionsville, 55 in Logansport. As we work our way throughout the day today, it's essentially a dry day during the daylight hours. As we get into the evening hours, we'll have the potential for a few spotty showers building in late in the day, but the overall trend just during the daytime hours will be increasing clouds with temperatures that eventually will be climbing into the upper 70s. So carry on with any outdoor plans you may have throughout the day today and make them a fun one here across central Indiana. The time now is 5:57. We'll be back in just a few minutes.